live. We are, in fact, freaking live. We are live, guys. Let's freaking go. We have a big show for you tonight. Ariel Helwani claims to be a journalist, and he called out Dana White again. Now, keep in mind, this objective journalist works for Netflix and Most Valuable Promotions. He's calling out Dana White. He's had big beef with Dana White ever since he took the initiative to leak secret information and ruin a press release and a press debut that Dana White had planned for the fans, and Ariel Helwani leaked it first. So he's been beefing with UFC ever since then. He got his credentials stripped, and now he is calling Dana White a liar. But guess what, guys? He forgot one thing. We're going to get into all that. And this is the problem with MMA journalism. This is the problem with even what I'm doing, right? Like, in order to get people to tap on something, you got to have a crazy ass headline. Well, I'm a pretty positive guy, like good vibes. It's on my fucking wall. You know, I always try and have like a positive message at some point in the lives, right? But like a lot of what's going on is you kind of got to like borderline clickbait to get attention. But the problem with that comes that these guys are taking it too far and now they're believing their own situation. I think Ariel Helwani's believing his own bullshit at this point. We're going to get into all that. I'm calling him out. Ariel, I'm calling you out, bro. You are not doing journalistic research on Dana. You are just having a beef, bro. He's doing a lot of good things. Dana's doing a lot of good things. Let me read the chat real quick and we're going to get right into it. R. Don, let's go. We are live. John Hogan, what's up, bro? Let me fucking adjust this chat. Oh my goodness. All right. John Hogan says, "Hey everyone, hi everyone." All right, let me. Why is it not letting me fucking scroll down, dude? Anyways, John Hogan, hey Arpin Patel, yeah guys, hey, get your Real One shirts at the link. I dropped it in the chat. I pinned it. Also, make sure you send your coach to Studio Millions, man. Your coach will thank you. All you got to do is say, "Yo, go here, sign up." It's free to sign up to start. You know what I mean? Like, then get some free shit there, like free shit that'll grow their gym. It's crazy. But yeah, man, my name is King David MMA. I'm a professional MMA fighter, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and I coach and train at Extreme Couture. I'm on the pro team over there with the best fighters on the planet, and I believe it's the best gym in the world. So here we are, guys. Ariel Helwani of Brock Lesnar fight announcement leak fame, which is how he started his beef with UFC originally. So the UFC had spent millions of dollars in producing a big announcement for Brock Lesnar. And Ariel Helwani, being a journalist, decided to leak it on his show before the UFC got to announce it for the fans. Now, I'm in my journalistic right to release this. I can, dude, bro, it's not you're not the UFC. He's not your fighter. It's not your business. Like, it's something they're going to release anyway. You're not actually digging up dirt or doing anything. You're just spoiling a multi-million-dollar production. And then you have a beef with them when they get banned. Anyways, fast forward to today. Ariel's still going at the UFC and Dana White. So Dana White has come out and said that this is going to be the biggest like MMA event ever. Now, Ariel's clapping back saying that it's not. Somebody asked Dana White about what kind of numbers he's going to do, and he said this is big like the Super Bowl big, right? Ariel went on his show, on Ariel's show, and then said, dude, it's not going to do Super Bowl numbers. It's not going to do numbers like that, right? In fact, I don't even think it's going to be bigger than the MVP on Netflix card. Well, so here, now he stepped out of line. Because now he's thinking with his emotions. He's not keeping it real. I thought that the Netflix card had the potential to be the biggest card in history. But here's the difference. It underperformed. Everybody was saying they were shooting for 20 million, and if it goes above that, they'd be happy. It averaged 12 million with a peak of right around 17 million on Netflix. Okay. Those aren't the numbers they were hoping for. Now, I'm happy for Netflix. I want them to get another MVP MMA card going. I'm happy for MVP. I want those guys to win, right? Like, let's run it up. Let's get fighters paid, all that. Right? I want the UFC to win too. They're in two different lanes to me. They're in two different lanes, right? But to claim that the Paramount Plus UFC card is not going to be as big as the Netflix card because it's on Paramount Plus doesn't make any sense. Here's why. Ariel Helwani forgot to do his research because the Netflix card is encapsulated in Netflix only. So the 17 million peak number that they were approaching, the 12 million average number that they had, well, yeah, they might not get that number on Paramount Plus, but worldwide, they're still doing pay-per-views overseas. They're on regular TV overseas. Every territory has a different form of viewership. So not everywhere on the planet is exclusive to only being able to watch it on Paramount Plus. Now, you would think a journalist would have that caveat. He did. He's just trying to bang on Dana White and call him a liar. Now being objective, Ariel and his goon squad, right? That's just over here hating on the UFC. They did have a point that if you were going viewer for viewer of the actual event itself, when Dana White says that it's going to do Super Bowl numbers or it's going to be big like the Super Bowl, well, it's probably not going to do that, right? But here's the thing. What metric are they talking about? Right? When Dana says this event is big like the Super Bowl, it's going to be like Super Bowl big. Does he mean it's going to get 120 million viewers, or does he mean that it's going to be international news and the earned media, the global media worldwide is going to cover it as much or more than the Super Bowl? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, the Super Bowl's at a class level of like, that's a classy ass event. That's the big sport in America. Is this going to surpass that? Right? Because if you're going by different metrics, you can come to different solutions and to different answers. So it's oftentimes important to know that you and the party that you're interacting with are on the same page with what the terms mean and what the objectives are. So in Dana's mind, dude, this is the biggest event on the planet. Well, why? Because it's at the fucking White House. That's the biggest thing anyone could do ever. And he's right. And then Ariel saying, dude, it's not going to get as many viewers as the Super Bowl. And he's right. But will it get more views? Not directly of the exact fight card on Paramount, but overall with all the media coverage, all the news stations, everyone reporting on it. That's the question. This leads me. So there was some shit going on at the gym, as there often is. So oftentimes aspiring fighters come to the gym. Amateur fighters, not quite amateur fighters, but like they want to be amateurs and then hopefully turn pro one day. And oftentimes they ask for rounds, right? Hey, I think I'm really good. I want to fight. And you're like, dude, okay, cool, man. Well, when amateur tryouts happen in 6 months, go try out for the amateur team. Until then, get to class. If you want to book private lessons, book private lessons and just keep training. Oh, well, man, I think I'm ready right now. But da 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 da. Okay, cool, man. Spar that guy. Boom, they go spar this guy, right? And this happens all the freaking time. This has happened like 3, 4 times this month. Just this month alone. Then they go spar the guy that their coach, me, or whoever asked them to spar. The guy that you asked them to spar beats them up, like not in a hurtful way, but like puts it on, like lets them know, hey man, there's levels, right? And sometimes you'll have them go with an amateur that's like got a 500 record or like that's 0-1 or 1-1 or something. You know what I mean? Not the most experienced guy. And then that low level, inexperienced amateur beats them up. And then they go, man, why are you sending these fucking killers on me, bro? I'm just trying to make it and you're picking on me. And like all this shit's going on in your head, right? As the up and coming dude, you think it's all about you. And dude, no one's picking on it. Like everybody at the gym that I know wants everyone else who's willing to put in the work to succeed. So I've noticed this in almost every area that two people can both be right in a conflict. They can both have their viewpoint. And because they're talking about two different things, then there's a complete miscommunication. So an amateur or an aspiring amateur can really think he's getting called out and picked on, and somebody hard was put against him. Oh my gosh. And dude, or they do make the amateur team And then they want to train a certain way. And it's like, well, this other guy's got to fight. So go spar him. Oh, bro, that guy's going to kick my ass. I don't, dude, that's not what the amateur team's for, bro. Right. But they think it's about them. Right. What they like, but that's not what the team is about. The team is about the team. So unless you're very clear in advance with all these terms, there's oftentimes interpretation and confusion. So in my life, I'm looking for areas where I can be as clear as possible and set expectations in advance. On a previous live, we were talking about this in dating, where like if you are dating someone, oftentimes rather than trying to impress them at a certain point in like the comfort stage, like when you're getting to know each other, like I push it like almost immediately. That's how I operate. I'm like, hey, I'm obsessed with martial arts. I go to the gym all the fucking time. I barely have any free time. I'm always fucking hungry. I'm always beat up, fucking got some injury, laying in bed, dehydrated. Focus on martial arts. I'm obsessed. So that's like leading with red flags in a way, right? That way, later on, when the person may or may not have a problem with your behavior, you're like, dude, this is how I met you. You get what I'm saying? So the same thing with Ariel and Dana is like, dude, are they even talking about the same thing? So now Ariel gets to put out a headline, putting Dana on blast. Dana is talking about something that's super fucking awesome in his world, which is, dude, he's doing a fucking fight card at the White House. Dana used to be a bellhop, carrying other people's luggage. And I had a buddy whose dad was a bellhop. And his dad told me this. He said, man, if I got $1 for every bag that I carried, I'd be a very rich man. He's like, so if you ever go to tip a bellhop, they will be thrilled with $1 a bag, right? So if you got 4 bags, you tip them $4, right? Now, obviously, this was a little bit back in the day. Maybe it's changed, but if you're carrying heavy ass bags for $1 and you go from that to promoting a fucking UFC event that just a decade ago was not legally allowed in New York, to now you're in Washington, D.C. at the White House, the giant claw overhead, the actual White House itself in the background. The president, love him or hate him, is going to be in attendance. And you have the biggest, coolest fucking fighting event in human history, right? That's pretty cool. So in a lot of ways, that is bigger than the Super Bowl. Because what is the Super Bowl? Super Bowl, where I don't know where the fuck it's at, right? A couple years ago, it was in Miami or something. Okay, well, that's cool. Miami's dope. I love Miami. I've been to Miami, had fun in Miami. I could see myself living in Miami. Miami's great, but it's not the fucking White House. This is like breaking barriers. This is, in someone's estimation, fucking cooler than the Super Bowl, bigger than the Super Bowl, more important than the Super Bowl, has more gravitas than the Super Bowl. It's expanding what's possible in sports, right? And although those metrics, one for one, it might not get his exact amount of views, right? In Dana's head, man, listen, he's breaking barriers. He might have every fucking world leader on the planet there trying to do business with the UFC. Like, he's expanding his sport ultra globally at a fucking level that was unheard of. This sport used to be banned from pay-per-view. They used to fight in like Mobile, Alabama, because that's the only place that would have it. And now he's at the White House. And Ariel's out here calling him a liar because he said it's going to be big like the Super Bowl. And like, then in the same breath, say it's not even going to be as big as MVP on Netflix when Netflix and when MVP underperformed on Netflix, right? Like, I thought that Netflix card was going to be the biggest card in history. I thought it was going to get 30, 40, 50, right? And then I did research, right? And what I didn't realize when I made these predictions that it could be the biggest card in history is I didn't understand the global viewership model. For example, in Brazil, when there was a UFC on pay-per-view in America and it did 800,000 pay-per-view buys or 1 million pay-per-view buys in America, it was available for free in 60 million homes in Brazil. So when Anderson Silva would fight, half of those homes or more had the Anderson Silva fight on. So while people are talking about Conor McGregor's numbers, 1.4 million or whatever pay-per-views, when Anderson fought, he was getting 30, 40, even more millions of viewers because it was on free TV in Brazil, right? But if you don't do research, you don't know that, right? So the same thing is going on here. Ariel's talking about the Netflix card doing tens of millions of views. But every country had Netflix and it didn't have different distribution. Whereas the White House card on Paramount in America has different distribution globally. Some countries it's free, some countries it's pay-per-view. It depends on the country. So no telling how many viewers they might get. Anyway, let me read the chat. Like this is what I'm saying, man. The information's out there, guys. Like to call yourself a journalist and not discuss that while then you look biased. And I'm not saying the dude's biased or not. Maybe he is. I think he is. But you know what I mean? Who knows, right? But like you got to give credit where credit's due, man. The White House is a big fucking deal. All right, let me read the chat. We got Wrestling World 644. What's up? We got Gus Callan. He says H. This is a man of few characters. You know what I'm saying? He's a man of few characters. He just drops the H in the chat. He's getting the point across as efficiently as possible. We got Arpan Patel with the fucking fire emojis. Let's go. What's up, champ? I'm looking jazz about this card. Hammer first. That like button. Yeah, man, guys, if you pop the like button, it feels good when you do it and it helps me out because it pops the algorithm off. It takes zero effort. You just tap it and you actually feel good about it. You see it change colors, blah, 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 you know what I mean? So, anyways, guys, the White House card is fucking crazy. In my last live, if you haven't seen it, the last live, I just go through picks. I pick sides. And I don't like pussyfoot around. I don't half step. I picked fights. The main fight that I picked, that's unpopular opinion, I picked Justin Gaethje to beat Ilia Topuria. I believe I have inside information. We discussed that on that live. So after this one, if you want more content, go back and watch the last one. Anyway, let me take a sip of this caffeinated beverage. Where am I at today on caffeine? I must be, dude, I'm gonna keep it real, guys. Today is a low day. Okay. Today's a low day. But you know what I did notice? I did notice that when Brendan Schaub went live, the first thing he did was a caffeine count. I'm not saying that he's watching the channel and biting your boy. I'm not saying he's swagger jacking. I'm just saying he probably tuned in and was like, damn, this motherfucker's charismatic. And I fuck with him because he drinks caffeine. I drink caffeine too. Let me start my live off that way. I don't know. Hypothetically speaking, maybe that happened. Because maybe we have mutual friends and maybe they sent him the link when I was speaking about him. And now maybe he's, lurking the channel and doing the caffeine countdown. You know what I'm saying? We're starting trends here, guys. Gus Callan, Ariel H was a leak. Dana made an example. Ariel to this day makes a living on UFC. Yeah, man. So back in the day, I was friendly with this dude, and he was a white rapper, and he was committing a lot of activities outside of rap, right? To finance his lifestyle. We're not going to get into that, right? Because I'm a changed man. I meditate all day and I don't interact in that lifestyle anymore. But he had an interesting line in one of his songs, and it was everything you have is something to do with me. And jealousy and envy is nothing that's new to me. Right. And I was like, wow, he's kind of right because like in this example, everything Ariel Helwani has something to do with Dana's creation. Dana created the UFC with the Fertitta brothers, essentially, right? Like it existed before, but like it was tanking. They came, gave it fucking life support, CPR, mouth to mouth, brought it back to life. You know what I mean? And now it's at the fucking White House. And Ariel's making his fucking living on the thing that he hates on, which is crazy. And some people, hey, pop me kettle. Some people will say I'm doing that too because I'm not speaking super highly of Ariel right now. And I'm making about living off of him, even though the channel's still growing. But people would say I'm doing the same thing, which I got a big announcement tomorrow, guys. I got a big announcement tomorrow, the live tomorrow. I already made the thumbnail. I'm already dropping. I got the dude. Tomorrow we're taking a fucking change of pace around this motherfucker, right? So stay tuned for tomorrow's show. Uh Arpin, I'm at 300. That's low for me too, bro. I know, dude. We gotta step this shit up, man. It's already 11 at night. Where am I at? I'm at 300. I'm at 368, 398, 402. Wait. 402, and then 436. I'm around 436. I haven't even hit 500. What are we doing? What are we doing here? He says, oh heavens, yes, let's fucking go. Real one, my guy. You know how we do. I would love to go to the White House fight and see it live. Yeah, man, I heard Sean Strickland's pulling up to the fan event, which will be fucking awesome. Honestly, man, I think that's a major dub for Strickland. I don't think he should do the whole protesting thing and everything. 2:20 a.m. here. Just keep grinding. Yeah, I know. Pop 3 caffeine pills and keep it up, right? But yeah, so I think Strickland going to the fan event is going to be epic. Because honestly, man, he's a man of the people, right? Like maybe the president of the other country, maybe the president of this country don't want him at the event or whatever the fucking alleged case may be. But he's a man of the people and he has the hearts and minds of the people, and a lot of the people agree with him, right? So I'm not a fucking foreign policy expert. I didn't claim to be. I just know what I see on the reels and the TikToks and the X and the tone of the Instagram clips. And I think a lot of people are agreeing with Strickland's line of thinking. And if somebody has a different line of thinking, they're allowed to present that and show the world that it's not what Strickland thinks it is, and they can present evidence that gives a better case than Strickland's case. So if Felony was here, he'd be like, "Hey, Arpin, my guy, fire that coffee." Yeah, bro. Man, it just ain't the same without Felony here drinking coffee at midnight. You know what I'm saying? It's just not the same, guys. Speaking of Felony Charles Bennett, make sure you peep Fight Circus. You could go on Instagram. You could see Felony choke slamming, death sentence, and choking him out. He body slams him at Fight Circus on Instagram. Follow Fight Circus. And yeah, they got the freak show fight. So if that's your type of thing, they got you. I'm into all that. I pro wrestled a midget. That's what he wanted to be called, not what I called him, what he said to call him. I'm just going by, you know what I mean? We're talking about pronouns and what people want to be referred to as. This dude, I called him a little person. He said, "Call me a midget, bro." I said, "Okay, dog, don't look up on me, bro. You're like 2'8". He said, "Bro, I'm 3'2", bro." I said, "Oh shit, man, big dog." I said, "Big dog." You know what I mean? He said that he's not 2'8". He said he's 3'2". I said, "All right, big dog." And that's D'Lo, man. You can see D'Lo on Kick or Instagram. I pro wrestled him, and he might be one of the most buff midgets on the planet. The dude's jacked. Like he's not the tallest guy on the planet, but the dude's you know what I mean? And he's dense and he's fucking strong. Me and him pro wrestled. And yeah, man, he broke a fucking scepter over my head. My head was bleeding through a blonde wig. It was crazy. We got crazy. It was Thailand. In Thailand, anything goes. In Vegas, commissioners show up. They want to regulate. They want to say, "Oh, you got to fight in a certain manner. You got to have these rule sets, which we approve of." Thailand, they're like bringing the lady boys. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a lady boy Muay Thai fight. No telling what might happen. So tune into Fight Circus is what I'm saying. Also, Brendan Schaub, he basically said, "Man, if you're making this thing political, this White House card, man, shut the fuck up, dog." He was punking people, man. He was on one. He had started off the day with the C4, 300 milligrams of caffeine. I don't drink C4. I don't like any artificial sweeteners personally. So I don't fuck with it. But he said he was popping the day off with 300 milligrams of caffeine. And his caffeine countdown, that I like to think that I originated up in this piece. But yeah, and then he started popping off on the chat. He was like, "Hey, man, if you guys are getting political over this White House thing, then, man, you fucking shut the fuck up and just get over it and fucking quit crying." I was like, "Damn, bro, tell me how you really feel." Which is kind of wild because, like, I get what everybody's saying about don't politicize it, but the shit's political at this point, right? The shit, like, it's fucking, you got the president there, you got a fucking lawsuit against the president, you got the other president who I'm telling the world that other president will not be there. He will not be there. I know people are like, oh, the other president's coming, and that's why Strickland can't go. And that other president is going to put the belt on it. No, none of that's real. That dude's not showing up, guys. I predict these teams. Call me Destiny Dave, guys. So I predicted Sean Strickland will beat Hamzat. I predicted that Tom Aspinall would get into contract disputes before he did, and then he did. I predicted that they are probably going to strip him on the belt, which it looks like they are. I predicted that Josh Hockett is going to call out Alex Pereira, which he's done. I like at some point, maybe I know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? So that dude is not showing up to the White House, guys. I'm telling you. I'm telling you guys. So anyway, maybe I'll just start predicting other shit, guys. You guys need gambling picks? What the fuck's up? And I'm just playing. I don't really gamble. So one time, I knew two fighters that were fighting, and based on my experience training with one of them and the other one having trained with my coach, I was like, dude, this is crazy. The dude that trained with my coach is really fucking good, really good. And the other dude was pretty good, but I was like, there's levels. This dude can't fuck with my coach. My coach can't fuck with this other guy. Anyways, MMA math doesn't math. I've gambled like one time essentially. I lost $4,500 on one bet, and I was like, "Hey man, maybe this shit ain't for me, guys. Maybe you know what I mean. I'm trying to get a quick $7,000 flip real quick." And instead, I was like, "Oh shit, where'd my $4,500 go? Can I get that back? I want to do a do over." And I went to the casino. They said no do overs. I said, what, bro? No do overs, guys. Come on, man. I can do a lot of things with that 4,500. So, anyways, speaking of gambling, when I cornered Felony this most recent time in Hawaii, I cornered him with Mickey Mace. And Mickey Mace is now going in on Steve Will Do It. And they got a big beef. And Steve Will Do It is like a gambler in like a fun-loving, happy-go-lucky way. Mickey Mace is a gambler in like a give me my fucking money kind of way. So for whatever reason, they're going in on each other. I know Mickey Mace has gotten to street fights because I've seen clips, and I know Steve Will Do It wants to fight Kyle, but maybe the fight for brand risk, and I'm calling it here first, could potentially be Steve Will Do It versus Mickey Mace. Battle of the fucking Becca millionaire gamblers, guys. And then they could even put $1 million of their own money up against each other. That'd be pretty epic. Like, can you imagine the first gambler versus gambler fight where, like, let's say brand risk isn't paying them? They're gambling their own money on their own fight. Like, I don't even know if that's legally possible to do, but if it is, that would be a fucking new wave, right? Like, hey, put up your own million. He's going to put up his own million or whatever, 5 million, whatever makes it fun and interesting for them. Let's say it's a mill each, right? And now they're fighting for $2 million. One of them gets zero, one of them keeps the 2 mil. Somebody's fucking mill's got to go. Put your money where your mouth is. Brand risk, MMA, Aiden Ross, Steve Will Do It, Mickey Mace, the $1 million matchup. Let's fucking see, guys. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? It's just some people, it just comes naturally to them, you know? Maybe it's me, maybe it's the caffeine, maybe it's this fucking desert air. But I can feel the gambling plot lines coming together for the next brand risk. So anyways, I got a big announcement tomorrow. Big show tomorrow, guys. Make sure you have notifications on. My goal for tomorrow, I'm saying this publicly, is to go live earlier. Okay? Is to go live earlier. I'm going to say it one more time to hold myself accountable. I'm going to go live earlier tomorrow. Big announcement tomorrow. Make sure you have notifications on. Shout out to everybody that subscribed. The subscriber count just keeps growing. So that's thanks to you guys, right? I'm only one man. You know what I mean? but we're building a community because you guys. So thank you to everybody that's sharing the channel. Thank you for everybody that's tagging me on Instagram. Thank you guys for subscribing. I appreciate you. Have an amazing night. And just remember that two people can be right in their own heads because they're talking about a term that they haven't clearly defined, and they both have different definitions of the same term. So make sure you get your terms correct before you start calling somebody out about being wrong. I love you guys. Have a good night.